It is Tuesday, July 5th, 2022. This is another edition of Baseball Today, presented to you by Shady Rays, the best looking shades in the entire business. And if you lose them or break them, they will replace them. That is my man, Trevor Plouffe. I am Chris Rose. We are joined by producer Rob and intern Sam as well. Hope everybody had a good, healthy 4th of July on what was a very, very difficult day once again in this country. But let's try and enjoy what we can these days. And on this show, we talk about baseball and great stories. And we will start off, Plouffe. First of all, tell everybody where you are, because you are not in your home setup. So you got to at least fill us in on this.
I am in Cabo, down in Mexico, celebrating, the 4th, and then taking a few days down here. A very beautiful resort. So I'm living it up, man. I'm feeling good. Had a good night last night. I told the guys on AMP before we started the show, got a couple cigars rolled for me last night. Ooh. Didn't smoke them, but I might do it today. And I don't smoke cigars or cigarettes or anything like that. So, I'm gonna give it a whirl today and see what everyone's always so up and like they love cigars. Yeah. And I'm just not one of those guys, but I'm gonna give it a try today.
Well, usually we smoke cigars when we celebrate something. And today we are celebrating the conclusion of a career. May have flown under the radar. So before we get to our 5 topics, tip of the cap to Aaron Barrett, former major league reliever. I believe he was pitching for the Iron Pigs. He came out on social media a few days ago and said this was going to be July 4th was going to be his last day on the mound, that he was calling it quits. Some of you may remember him. Fairly solid reliever for the Washington Nationals in 2014 and 2015, had Tommy John surgery. And while he was rehabbing from that, broke his humerus bone while pitching. And just a devastating injury. Eventually worked his way back to pitch a couple of innings in the regular season during the Nationals 2019 World Championship run, a couple more in 2020, but a guy who always gave it his all. His teammates spoke glowingly of him, a remarkable comeback for him. And I just wanted to give him a little salute on this day as a guy who obviously loves this sport dearly. I just thought it was always a cool comeback story.
That is a cool comeback story, gets the ring. Sometimes injuries are just part of the game, and you can either, let them define you or you can work through them. Aaron, is one of those guys that work through them, and I salute you as well, man. This is a tough business, and you work your entire life to get that opportunity to play in the big leagues. And, unfortunately, sometimes it gets taken away from you from things you can't control. But Aaron, salute from us at Baseball Today.
Awesome. Now we salute one of the rising young stars. Julio Rodriguez is killing the baseball, dude. The shot he hit yesterday at the warehouse at Petco was unbelievable off of Sean Manaea. Where does he rank right now in the I can't miss this dude at bat right now in the big leagues?
Honestly, Chris, he's probably he's a top 10 guy right now. Okay.
Easily.
And you could even make a case for top 5. I would say Jordan's there, Judge is there, Byron Buxton is there, probably Shohei's there. I mean, you're talking about putting this guy in the elite of the elite categories. And guess what? He's 21 years old. Someone asked me the other day on this show, who is my favorite rookie? I said Bobby Witt Jr. I think he's a can't miss dude. But Julio has just gotten better and better and better this year. He struggled early on, Chris, and we kind of okay, he's 21. This is what happens when you come up. In April and March, 544 OPS. May, 866, really good. June, 903, really good. And then in July, only 4 games, but he is absolutely raking again. There's kind of no holes in his game. He's already got 20 stolen bases too, to go along with some of this power. He's amassed 3.5 WAR. I mean, I don't know what else you can say about him other than Seattle. Congratulations, you have an absolute baller on your hands, and you're gonna have him for forever. This is a guy who, if you're the Mariners right now, you just go say, let's try to lock this guy up on a Ronald Acuna contract so we can have a window going forward, because he's that good. I mean, J-Rod, the show. That's what he calls himself on Instagram and Twitter, the J-Rod Show. It's a show every time this dude is at bat. So I'm gonna put him 6th, Chris. How about that?
It's pretty high
in all of baseball.
I know. I would consider him right up there. I think he has hit that elite category in terms of watchability. He is the first player in the history of the sport in his first 81 games to have at least 15 homers and at least 20 steals. First player in the history of the sport at a time where we don't steal bases. You know, there were a bunch of guys on that list. I think Ellis Burks was next. People forget how good Ellis Burks was before his knees kind of gave out, and he still had a great career. Eric Davis was in the top 5 of that list. Eric Davis was on his way to being Willie Mays before he got derailed by injuries. That's how good he was. So we're talking about Julio Rodriguez setting a precedent and getting ready to take off from here. It's funny because I thought about the Acuna deal. I don't think he accepts it right now. I think he knows how damn good he is, dude.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you could say that, but you flash $100 million in some dude's face.
Hold on, would you
turn that down?
Not knowing anything about his background, his family history, anything like that, would you accept it, knowing the talent that he's got?
At this point in your career, at 21 years old, probably. I think that I would probably accept it, but I think him also just kind of looking at it objectively. I mean, it's very hard to turn that down. It's honestly, look, and for an organization, you're going to shell out that cash, and you think he's going to be worth it. But again, this is a guy. I know we just said how great he is. He's played 81 games in the big leagues, right? So like, it's a risk you're taking as an organization. I think it's one they're probably willing to take. They probably already had internal discussions about it, especially the way the season's gone. He's just gotten better and better and better. It'd be really tough, Chris, for him to turn that down.
He ain't turning into Scott Kingery.
No. This guy, I mean, he's got power, speed. And he's as 5 tool as they come.
Oh, he's awesome. He is so good, so fun to watch. And he might single-handedly keep the Mariners. If they are able to shave a game or 2 off of the wild card standings. No,
I pronounced him dead, Chris. I pronounced him dead. And someone came at me. He's like, they're 11-3 since you pronounced them dead. Okay. Maybe it was bad timing on me pronouncing him dead because they played Oakland twice. They played the Angels. They played the Orioles. That's where all their victories have come. I'm still pronouncing the Mariners dead, unfortunately.
That's
even with J-Rod.
You do have to remember
awesome they got there.
They're in a crappy division, and they're only 4 out of the last wild card spot. There's only one team in between them and the Rays who currently hold the wild card spot, and that's the Cleveland Guardians, who aren't great.
That's just okay. Saying. Look, I hope they prove me wrong. There's nothing I'd like more than for this team to say, Trev, you were an idiot. Shut up. Look at what we did. That'd be great for me. I would like that, but I don't know if that's going to happen.
Okay. All right. So from a guy who is carving his path to a guy who has already basically had his plaque chiseled in Cooperstown, Max Scherzer. He will make his first appearance tonight on a major league mound since May 18th. He had that strained oblique. DeGrom, it sounds like not too far behind, maybe by the end of July, they're hoping. Now, the Mets have pretty much had the division lead from the onset. Are they still your favorite at this point?
Gosh, I'm trying to remember what I said because I think you asked this question when the Braves were surging or they had been surging.
Right.
I think that
I did.
I said as constructed, they're a better roster, but you have to mention who the Mets were going to get back. And DeGrom is absolutely dealing in his start. I think he struck out 5 dudes in 2 innings or something like that.
Yeah.
So he's going to be fine. And then Scherzer coming back. I don't know, man. I think this is going to be obviously a 2-team race there at the top of the division. I don't know, man. I flip-flop back and forth. Mm-hmm. I think you have to say the Mets are the favorite just because of what they've done without these 2 guys. And you add arguably 2 of the top, 6 or 7 pitchers in all of baseball to your roster. How could you say, they're not the favorite? They're up 3.5 right now, and you bring those guys in. So you kind of have to say, if these guys come back healthy and look the way they've kind of looked in their rehab starts and are themselves at the big league level, you have to say they're the favorites, right?
I don't know that I could say that.
You're not allowed to say that.
No. I'm saying I don't know that you can say that necessarily. I had to finish the sentence. It was a little slow getting out. Somebody made a point that like one day last week, I said the Mets were winning the division, and the next day I didn't. And that's because I am having a tough time with this. And I think the tough time is coming from this. We look at Scherzer, who's 37, and DeGrom, who's like 34 or whatever he is, right? You don't realize how old Jacob DeGrom is because he actually got a later start than we all anticipated. There's no guarantee that these guys will be who they are, that we expect them to be the rest of the season. There's just not. Right? Scherzer battled some injury issues last year down the stretch with the Dodgers. He had some issues. And DeGrom has not pitched in a ball game in a year. So just to say, well, Jacob DeGrom's going to show up and he's going to be Jacob DeGrom. I was biting my fingernails, and I'm not even a Mets fan, praying that he would get through this last year with every start. Weren't you?
Yeah, I mean, I never like to look ahead and project injuries. Like when I'm thinking about ball and, going forward in a season, I don't ever project injuries. I know these guys are coming back from the IL, so I understand there's that. But like I am assuming when I'm talking about the Mets that they're going to have Jacob DeGrom for all of August and September, and the same with Max Scherzer.
But
if they have those two guys back and pitching like they can pitch, I don't see how there's a way that you can say the Braves are the favorite to win the division. At most, I think you can say they definitely got a chance, and it's a tough call. But right now, what the Mets have done without these guys, then adding them back into the rotation, I think you have to say like they're the favorite to win the division.
And then I think that's the ball player in you, and you have to think that way, or you don't make it as a professional athlete. I am telling you, as a guy who's been a fan for 5 decades, go ask any Mets fan if they feel comfortable with the health of Scherzer and DeGrom heading into the last 3 months of the season.
You think it's like DeGrom's thing was like a bone injury, right? So if once that heals, like you're not thinking soft tissue or anything like that. It's almost better for me in that regards where like, as the bone's healed, it's healed. Like we don't have to worry about anything else. I hope that's the case. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, people. Not a doctor.
And you're definitely not staying at a Holiday Inn Express down there in Cabo.
No,
I can tell you that
shit.
Well, listen, the Mets fans will point out, as Jolly did on his Twitter feed, they went 25-16 without Scherzer in the rotation. He's coming back against the perfect team, the Cincinnati Reds, who have been terrible for most of the year. Also has a career 1.84 ERA against him. Hopefully he gets through 6 innings, 90 pitches is what he expects to do, and is feeling good. Just a little housekeeping for you. Heading into June, the Mets had a 6-game lead over Philly, 7 over Miami, 7.5 over Atlanta. It's now down to 3.5 as we speak on July 5th. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right, cooler America's birthday moment yesterday. Jordan capping a huge Houston comeback with a 444-foot walk-off homer to cap their 7th straight winning overall. Or Victor Caratini with a 3-run extra inning shot for Milwaukee against his old team, the Chicago Cubs.
I'm stoked on the Brewers offense coming to life. They've been going off as of late, and in the NL they rank pretty highly right now, which is surprising to me. But I always go with my guy Jordan. Like 3-1 pitch there. Barlow, who I told a story on the AMPAT before you got on here, throws on the 3-1 slide piece. Doesn't matter. You think Jordan's not ready for that? I tell people all the time, Jordan is one of the guys who is always balanced at the plate, never looks foolish. He gets that pitch, backdoor little slide ball right there, deposits into right center. I love Jordan. So anytime I get to talk about this guy and how good of a freaking hitter he is, I'll talk about it. Astros are incredible. Like they're challenging the Yankees for the best record in baseball. I think they're maybe 4 or 5 games behind them, but they're coming.
They're coming.
And that would be something, because if they all of a sudden have home field advantage during the playoffs, that's huge for them. This team is elite. So I'm going with Jordan there. Although, Caratini, that's awesome too, bro. I mean, not taking anything away from you. I just love Jordan.
So Caratini's been interesting. If you look at his stats, he's actually played pretty well this year for the Brewers. Yesterday was a horrible day. He struck out each of his first 4 plate appearances. He became the 5th major leaguer since 1900, only the 5th, to strike out in at least his first 4 plate appearances and still go on and hit a walk-off homer. Now, they've all happened since 1983, and most of them are huge names in the history of the sport. Mike Schmidt in 83, Ray Knight in 86, David Justice in 01, and then Derek Norris in 2015.
Damn.
The reason I mentioned the first 3, do you know what they all have in common?
I don't.
They all played in the World Series that year.
Oh, baby, let's go, Chris.
So, Brewers fans, yesterday was a big, big deal. If you see Victor Caratini before the game, say thank you for striking out 4 times. Thank you for hitting a walk-off homer. And he's going to say, why are you thanking me for striking out 4 times? You use that stat. You bring up the names Michael Jack Schmidt, Ray Knight, David Justice. You can leave Derek Norris out of the equation. You say they all made the World Series.
And then, for the Brew Crew, obviously that's great for Caratini and everything. Getting Woodruff back and the way he's looked, that's a huge plus for them because he started off the year pretty slow. He's figured something out because he's been lights out. Obviously, Corbin Burns is doing his thing. They put up 19 runs in his start. So that's, what's going to happen with Burns on the mound. I love the Brew Crew. I got them picked to win the World Series. Like I said, their offense has been kind of shining lately. A couple, big games have kind of skewed the numbers as of late. But if they get Peralta back and they have those top 3 horses going for them, we know what the back end of the bullpen has done. We usually talk about Williams and Hader, but Boxberger has had 8 scoreless appearances in a row. So now you got like a 3-headed monster back there, and you could shorten the games. I mean, it's a scary team. It's a scary team.
2 things. They have to watch the use of Hader. Hader threw 33 pitches the other day to get out of that mess in Pittsburgh. And then yesterday, he gave up the inside the park job to Seiya Suzuki, who had his first game in felt like months. That was an unbelievable inside the park job, by the way. It really was unreal. That was very
he just barely beat the throw too. And it's a weird thing when you see the ball, carry him off the wall like it did, and you just start to turn the jets on. You don't know where the ball's at because you're not at that point. You're just head down. You're trying to pick up a coach, and he just barely beat this throw.
Yeah.
I don't know how fast he is.
He runs pretty well.
So just a good relay then, I guess.
It was a good relay. Plus, dude,
man.
I mean, that's 120 yards that he's got to sprint.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. Uh-oh.
Whoa. Hey, now. Man down.
Not my phone down.
Oh, you're okay. You're still in the app. All right. Well, today's edition of Baseball Today presented to you by our friends over at Shady Rays. In fact, mine are so good, I left them in the car because I don't want to go anywhere without them. Yeah, I'm the idiot, but I look great when I'm driving my car. In fact, Shady Rays is changing the way that you wear sunglasses. They got great style, great performance, no big brand price tag associated with them. And here's the thing I love most about them. As great as they look, you know what happens with sunglasses? You leave them somewhere, you sit on them, you break them, you take them into the ocean, you lose them, ride a wave somewhere else. Don't worry. Every pair is backed by a lost and broken replacements. That means that if you lose them or you break them on day one, guess what? You get a brand new pair, which is awesome. You can't go wrong. On top of that, not only do they make your face look great, buying a pair will warm your heart because Shady Rays provides 10 meals to fight hunger in America with every order. So far to date, they've donated more than 20 million meals. That is unbelievably good work out there. It is so important. One other thing. I met one person who's like, man, Shady Rays, they suck. I don't like them. If that person exists in the first 30 days, you return them free. First 30 days, you return them free. So I want you to go to the site, shadyrays.com. Use the code word today. You're going to get 50% off 2+ pair of premium polarized shades. Use the code word today at shadyrays.com. 50% off 2+ pairs of premium polarized shades. I guarantee you'll look way cooler than this guy. Your Minnesota Twins took care of business. First of a big set on the south side of Chicago. In extra innings, the game was highlighted by a triple play. Byron Buxton starting that play. That was
what happened
unreal.
There?
Yeah, I guess we have to start there. So A.J. Pollock hits it to center. Adam Engel was on second, right? Did he not tag up or?
He was right next to the base.
I know. Can we just start with this? What the hell's the matter with the Chicago White Sox? Like there's days they look like they're not interested in playing. Every other game, they're chanting "Fire Tony" in the home games. Like this has been an unmitigated disaster.
You know what? He did the right thing initially on that read. When there's no outs like that, first and second, when you have a ball that you see, may or may not be caught, you kind of hang around the base. Okay, you don't have to be on the base, but you hang around the base base. And if he catches it, put your foot on second base and run to third base. So now you have a guy on third with less than 2 outs. Okay. I don't know what he saw there. Like he thought the ball was like Buxton didn't catch it. Guess what? If a fly ball goes out to Byron Buxton and it hangs up like that, he's going to catch it, bro. Or at least he's going to get to it. So you have to be very sure. And then the base running we talked about, they don't want guys running hard because of some soft tissue stuff. I don't know what's going on in Chicago, dude. It's probably been my biggest mistake so far in my baseball analyst career is putting the White Sox in the World Series. I'm sticking by my pick just in case a miracle happens, but they look lost out there.
Well, the miracle wouldn't be winning the division. The miracle would beating the Astros and or the Yankees
that's true.
in series if they have to. But here's the thing. So they're 5.5 back. Cleveland's 3.5 back of Minnesota. So what's your confidence level that Minnesota is like the team?
I can't get a read on this team. I really, really can't get a read on this team. I know they have, the offensive threat to go get it done. They have the, some superstar talent there to get it done. I know they've actually pitched okay since Wes Johnson's left. So that's nice. For me, it's always just been that, like, how much can you believe in that pitching staff long-term over the full season? And then, let's say they do win it, Chris, because they don't really have a challenger, besides the Guardians, the White Sox we just talked about, they're kind of a mess. So there's not like a team that's really going to come and just run away with this. Like, I think they'll all be pretty close at the end of the year. Get into the postseason. I mean, can you project them to win any series in the postseason? Which is the same problem year in and year out as of late for the Twins. I want to get behind this team, obviously, because I have roots there. But being objective and trying to really, get some perspective on it. I don't know. It's hard for me to believe in the pitching staff.
Okay. So I was impressed with Minnesota. They lost those games on Wednesday and Thursday, back-to-back walk-off homers in Cleveland. How did they respond? They came home and they were lethargic in those first 2 games against the Orioles, but they somehow ended up getting to the Orioles closers on consecutive days. On Friday and Saturday, they ended up losing Sunday, and here they win this big one on July 4th. So I think they're tough. I think they're a tough team. They are praying that they win the division and that somehow the second place team, they're probably rooting, even though they've had some weird stuff happen against the Cleveland Guardians this year, and they're 4-0 against the White Sox. I think they're still rooting for the Guardians to get that 6th spot. They don't want to have to play a Toronto, a Boston, or a Tampa as in that 3-6 matchup. If that's
it's weird because if you go and you look at the starting pitching stats, you see what Archer's done on the year. I mean, he's got a 308 through 15 games started. So he's kind of, he's coming back from thoracic outlet, which a lot of people don't come back from, so he's figured some stuff out. I really hope, he's proved it at the big level before. So hopefully this is for real. Joe Ryan, I think, can be for real. He's pitching to a 3 right now through 12 starts. Smeltzer has been arguably one of their best pitcher, at times. And then Sonny Gray's kind of doing his thing. Sonny Gray has always been an enigma to me. Like, I can't get a read on him either as of late, but he's got great numbers. And then you go and they're still in the market for a starting pitcher. By all accounts, all over Twins Twitter, like they want to be on Montas. They want to be on Castillo.
Well,
they're going to have to outbid some other teams, but I don't know, man.
That Montas deal kind of took a weird turn. We'll get to that momentarily. 2 guys the White Sox need to slow down if they ever win against the Twins. Luis Ariz has a 13-game hitting streak against Chicago dating back to last year, hitting 429 in that stretch. Byron Buxton has a 10-game hitting streak against the Sox, in which he's hit 8 homers and driven in 15.
Wait, shout out Nick Gordon too, who's actually played so well this year. I'm so happy for him after kind of struggling to find some footing in the big leagues. Go off, king, a boy.
Yeah, former number 2 overall pick. Good for him that he's finding a role. Finally, Joey Chestnut. We bow down to him. He remains the king of the July 4th hot dog eating contest. He downed 63 dog. Take the video off, Rob. I cannot watch this early in the day. To win his 15th crown. I ask you this. What ballpark food could you crush every day during the baseball season and not get sick of it?
Now, this is a tough one because I'm going to go traditional ballpark fare. I believe that's the question you're asking me, because there's some tacos, that you can get at some of these places that I would do that. I'm a taco guy. Hot dog, no. Hamburger, no. Popcorn, no. I will go nachos. I think nachos,
Really?
one day you can have them with the jalapenos. The next day you can go just cheese. I think the nachos for me would be the way I would go if it's like an everyday thing.
I had to
Sounds
really
really
think
good
about
right now,
this.
actually. Shit.
I am notorious, and you can ask anybody I have worked with at any level for stealing people's fries off of their plates.
Oh, fries is a good one.
I am a fry guy. Like I'll have, I used to go out with guys in the at MLB Network. Would go out to dinner. I'd order a piece of salmon and have some broccoli. One of the guys would get a burger, and I would just steal their fries. And he's like, "Why don't you just get a side of fries?" Well, I don't really. You're watching what you're eating. You eat half my fucking fries. So that's me. I'm the fry guy.
The guy that orders the salad with a salmon and just crushes everybody else's fries. That sounds like my
Absolutely.
wife, actually.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
just, I'm going to order my quinoa and then I'm like, don't touch my plate. Although I let her touch my plate every time.
The only difference is Olivia looks like Olivia and I look like this.
That's true. She's so much hotter than you. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. No shit, dude. No shit. What do you have coming up on John Boy?
Oh boy, big Tuesday recap episode. We're going to be going over the series that took place over the weekend. I think one or two of them wrapped around to yesterday. But big episode. Me, Jake, and Jimmy and BBD will be doing it, man. 2 episodes for us this week, both recaps. I got the NL. I'm leading off, Chris, and I have some great stuff to say. I'm telling you, man. I worked pretty hard on it this morning. What about you?
That. Latest episode of the Rose Rotation dropped yesterday. Rowdy Tellez of the Milwaukee Brewers. When I tell you that I laughed the entire time, except for the times I was crying about his stories, particularly about his late mother, he was awesome. So good.
That's great.
You want to go enjoy something during a 45-minute workout, or if you're going to go take a walk or take a long drive, please listen to that one. I want you to listen to all of them. Do yourself a favor. You'll feel better about yourself after you listen to Rowdy Tellez. He's just a dude that can mash baseballs.
Mash baseballs. He was blocked in Toronto. He's getting his opportunity now. Yeah. I mean, you love stories like that because that happens sometimes. And sometimes guys don't make it through. They don't get another opportunity. Rowdy did, and he's thriving.
Yeah. He's hilarious. He tells us some great high school baseball stories. My God, was their team loaded. Holy shit.
Where was his team?
Elk Grove High School outside of Sacramento.
That's right.
JD Davis was a couple years older than him, but he had a few other guys that I think there's 6 guys that have made it to the big leagues from this team.
Wow.
Which is unreal. Yeah. So go enjoy that. We are back at it again on Wednesday. We want to thank you wherever you are consuming it. Podcast form, YouTube channel, live on the AMP app, downloaded on your iPhone today. For our outstanding producer, Robbie Scirocco, our summer intern, Sam Singer. That is T. Plouffe in Cabo. I'm Chris Rose. We'll see you Wednesday on Baseball Today, presented to you by Shady Rays.